Hi, welcome to DOL Dignity of Labor KTC series, Know the Course. And today we have Rahul with us, who is a chemical engineering graduate. Hi, Rahul.
Hi, Mind.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What about
Yeah,
you?
yeah, doing great. Thanks a lot for giving us time. Okay, just to start off with, can you give us a brief introduction about yourself and what exactly chemical engineering is all about?
Sure. So this is Rahul Milkani. I hail from Uttarakhand, Nainital. In precise, I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering from NIT Trichy. And now talking about chemical engineering, what it is about. So I'll describe it as a blend of science with engineering, which helps you to deliver or release different products in life, which
Okay,
will help an individual to grow.
that's nice. It's a good way of putting up. Then, assume if you have to explain that you are a chemical engineer to a layman or stranger outside in the road, how do you do that? Do you have any example that you would say, or how does that go?
All right, so I'll start with this. So, most of people do think that chemical engineering relates to chemistry, but it is not. I mean, we
Okay.
have we have a very small percentage of chemistry as well during our course, but more of it revolves around physics and maths.
Okay.
So, to describe a layman, I mean, I'll say it's a branch of engineering which deals with physics, chemistry, and mathematics, more of physics and maths, and you will learn different subjects there, which helps you to innovate, which helps you to think differently, and
Okay.
then these are the basic terms that I would like
Yeah.
to highlight for chemical engineering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like as a chemical engineer graduate, what are the real life applications that you would see, or what are the sectors that chemical engineer graduates will evolve and get an opportunity into?
So, being a chemical engineer, I think there are vast number of opportunities around the world, be it oil and gas industries, energy sector, be it pharma industries, be it food and beverage. You name any industry, you have a chemical
Mhm.
engineering there because
Correct.
each and everything which you see in your day-to-day life revolves around chemicals, right?
Correct.
So you need chemical engineering there. And more of it's all the FMCGs you have seen.
Yes,
So they definitely have chemical engineers. So I think the future is bright for a chemical engineer.
it's nice. So, if someone who is very new to schooling and they want to decide about should I select or deselect chemical engineering? Okay, what are the prerequisites that one should have that if you have this chemical engineering is an option for you. So, what are those?
All right, so I reiterated this. Most of the people took chemical engineering because they think that chemistry is one of the more major option there, but it is not. And same with me. When I started my journey as a chemical engineer, the backdrop that I had in my mind was it relates to chemistry. And my
Okay.
journey in my 11th, 12th was all about chemistry. I
Yeah.
cleared my JEE mains and my advance only due to chemistry. I mean, the major part was
Mail.
chemistry.
Yeah.
So I developed an interest in chemistry and I thought that both of them relates together. So it is not. If you have more a deep interest in physics, if you
Mm-hmm.
have good interest in maths, I'll say
Mm-hmm.
chemical engineering is a good option for you, right? Talking about basic skills, so physics and maths, as always.
Mm-hmm.
Rest, I think you need an analytical mind
Okay.
uh, to pursue any engineering.
Correct.
So there are any, I'll not quote any of the important prerequisites that you should have for this particular branch, but in general, I prefer if you have a good base in physics and maths.
Okay. That's good. So, in the course of 4 years, you will have maybe list of 40 or 60 or subjects entirely. But if you have to categorize them into buckets, what are those? And second categorization, how much amount of your course structure has labs and then another part of theory?
All right. So first I'll tell, during initial years of engineering, you have a base subjects. I'll call them base subjects,
Mm-hmm.
which helps you to develop yourself for the main subjects, right? Base subjects, physics, mathematics, thermodynamics, subjects like that. So they'll help you to develop your base for your main subjects. Main
Yeah.
subjects include heat transfers, mass transfer, fluid mechanics, chemical reaction engineering. So these are the core of chemical engineering
Mm-hmm.
which you will really use when you go in any industry. Depends on
Yeah.
industry to industry,
Correct.
but
Yes.
one of them or multiple of them subjects you will definitely use. So I divide this into these two categories. Later stage of your final years, you will have subjects which test your overall development on all of the core subjects, right? And you in all engineering you might have heard of final year projects. So then
Mm-hmm.
you will utilize all your chemical engineering skills and develop a fantastic piece or a fantastic product. right? Talking about lab courses and theoretical courses. So I think
Mhm.
they have a good balance among them.
Mhm.
You'll start with, as usual, theoretical courses, and for each theory, let's say for heat transfer, for physics, chemistry, for chemical reaction engineering. So all of this will be having definitely a lab course, right? Now
Mhm.
it depends in curriculum to curriculum, but yeah, you have a good exposure to practicals where you understand the theory and you see it in front of your eyes.
Yeah, that's nice. So, as per you or during your course time, what was the toughest subject according to your, popular toughest subject?
Okay, bringing back to those memories.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, it was, I'll say, fluid mechanics. Yeah.
Mhm.
Why? The reason being, it requires rigorous physics, and
Yeah,
it requires maths rigor as well.
correct.
So when you start doing this, you'll feel a bit, you feel like I'm out of my comfort zone.
Mhm.
Uh, you have thousands of derivations, numericals, and that's where you feel a bit. I mean, I felt it a bit tough subject
Okay,
for me.
agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, assume how you felt fluid mechanics as one of your, not so comfort subject. So, other people also might have a different subject. That might be happening because either, not because of great amount of teaching or we are not attending classes, which happens daily in undergrad. So, are there any other alternative sources where, you can bang on or, you can focus, or what do you recommend as alternative options for getting the course content clear?
All right. So first of all, I think which everyone must do if you're in a good engineering college, if you have a good teacher, please listen to the classes. That is
Okay.
where
Yeah.
you are going with zero knowledge and you're getting something developed out.
Correct.
Now, in this world of internet, I think there are plenty of informations available, but which I used and which I trusted a lot was books. So,
Mhm.
for example, fluid mechanics, I was reading Introduction to Fluid Mechanics by Fox and McDonald's, right? A very
Mhm.
famous book. So I prefer reading books a lot. Whenever I found some subject is not very easy, is difficult to
Yeah,
understand, please go through books.
correct.
If there are multiple books inside, in a library you
Yeah.
have, or go to your professor and ask, read one, two, three books. One might be
Mhm.
very difficult to understand. One,
Yeah.
the language will be very easy. So just find your right book, understand it, and complete the book. Once you complete one book, you have a very good understanding of that particular subject. This is what I believe. Now, talking about that there are certain people who can use internet. You have
Mhm.
NPTEL courses. You
Mhm.
have YouTube videos
Yeah.
across different teachers.
Yeah.
Across YouTube that are
Yeah.
run by different
Different
teachers.
universities and different courses. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can use them. So
Yeah.
that's what strategy is.
Okay. That's nice. So, you might had planned your 4 years and you have completed it, and you might have or you might not have some regrets. Okay. Assume if someone who is fresh joining into chemical engineering course, according to you, who is an expert in that, so what should be the four, key milestones each year that one should achieve that, they have ample amount of opportunities by end of their career and then end of their graduation.
All right. So talking about you asked me about the key milestone every year, right? I looked at it as you should have daily goal, you should have
Mhm.
monthly goal, you should have
Mhm.
quarterly goal, which will eventually help you to meet your yearly goal.
Correct.
Now, during your course of study, maybe in these past 4 years, whenever you do your bachelor's, you focus on each and every subject. So let's say this
Mhm.
semester I have heat transfer, the next semester I have mass transfer.
Mhm.
So you ensure that by the end of this semester, you are confident on this particular subject.
Correct.
Read different books, read
Mhm.
different journals, read, do NPTEL courses, give papers. That will boost your confidence on this particular subject. So by the
Correct.
end of this semester, by the end of this year, you should say that yes, this is my strong subject,
Mhm.
right? Now, what else I suggest is try working with professors. So let's say
Mhm.
I had something related to mass transfer in this semester. Go to the professor who is teaching mass transfer. Ask him what he is doing in this particular domain.
Okay.
Ask what are the new technologies coming in. Because if you're going to national universities, private universities, any of the universities, professors there are deeply involved in research and innovation.
Correct.
Go to them, ask questions. This will blow your mind what is happening in and around the world on this particular subject. Because
Mhm.
currently, if you look at our curriculum, mostly focus on what has been already done. We are only focused on that. But when you reach out to professors, when you reach out to PhD students, you get to know what actually is going in and around the
The
world
sector,
now.
yeah,
Yeah. So do this small practice, which will not only help you to enhance your knowledge about your particular your subjects, your branch, but also helps you to understand what opportunities are there in your future. Yeah.
that's nice. So, like during this course of 4 years, everyone will start thinking about what's next during mid of third year or third year's first year. So, generally, every undergrad course has three popular destinies, I would say. One is either you go for a job, which is either government or corporate. The second would be you wish to go for higher studies, MS or MBA, or if the candidate has a quite a very innovative idea or good amount of capital balancing, he might start his own business, right? Out of these three, uh, how did you choose that which one to go? Did you eliminate other options or did you select one on basis of specific decision?
All right. So let's start with basics.
Hmm.
At the end of the fourth year, everybody have different thoughts in their mind.
Correct.
Whether I should go for placements, I should go for a job, or I should run a business, right? Or maybe a startup, or I should go for a higher education. Now I'll say nothing is wrong, nothing is
Yes.
right. Right?
Correct.
So it's individual decision based on his expertise, his analysis of himself.
Hmm.
These will help you to take the decision which path is right for you, right? Now
Correct.
let's look at one by one. I think first you talked about placements, right? Job.
Yes.
So if in any of the university, you will have placements for sure.
Correct.
And I would say this is one of the easiest paths of engineering to it, which is through campus placements, you're getting a job, right?
Hmm.
Now, but as I said, this is nothing right, nothing wrong. Maybe you
Hmm.
are not very sure about you pursuing higher education. So you
Correct.
thought, let's give it a try. What chemical engineering looks like around the world. Let
Mhm.
me at least understand how a plant looks like. Let me understand what happens in a plant, how
Yes.
I can contribute to the production, right? Or anything of that sort. So if you have these things in your mind, these calculations in your mind, you can go ahead and pursue job. Talking about business, as per my understanding, being a chemical engineer straight out of college, that too bachelor's, running a business or a startup that relates to chemical engineering will be a bit tough
Okay.
because it requires immense research. It requires a lot of support
Yes.
from higher individuals.
Correct.
So very few people opt for that. But yeah,
Hmm.
there are people who go across disciplines. Let's say
Correct.
in a different business area, in a different
Hmm.
aspect of which does not relate to
Yes.
chemical engineering. Right?
Yes. Correct.
Those people are there, so you can have
Hmm.
that option as well. Third one, which you talked about, is hires. So,
Yes.
what most of the people, if you find that you are really interested in chemical engineering, but you feel that it's not enough. It's not the my bachelor course was not enough for me to understand what it is. I want to understand more. You develop a deep interest in any one of the subject. Let's say I develop my interest in mass transfer, right?
Hmm.
I want to understand, know more about it. People go for hires in India
Correct.
or abroad, depends.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, it is an individual choice based on whatever your thoughts are, what you do
Hmm.
think of yourself, do a good analysis and pursue.
Okay. So did you select or did you eliminate choices?
All right. So I actually eliminated.
Okay, that's nice. That's good.
I
Yeah.
went by an elimination option.
Yeah.
I chose job.
Yeah.
Presently, I'm employed in Exxon Mobil, which
Hmm.
is the oil and gas company. So yes.
That's nice. Okay. So, assume someone chooses for the jobs itself. Like, let's stick to the corporate jobs. So, what are the dream companies that one should aim as a chemical engineering aspirant? Like, let's not talk about the pay as of now because we have certain brands that everyone aspired. Like, as a chemical engineer, I should be there. Like, what are those?
All right. So there are different set of roles in chemical engineering as well, which revolves around being a process engineer, being in different sectors like oil and gas sector. So let's start with process, right? So there are certain FMCG giants you've heard of. So people aim for I take names like ITC, PNG, Mondelez International, ABIN, BAVE, and whole giant of FMCG. So people aim for that.
Hmm.
Some people aim for energy industries, right?
Yeah.
Oil and gas sectors. You have big names like Exxon Mobil, Shell, Halliburton. Talking about PSUs, we have ONGC,
Hmm.
IOCL, BPCL, and these big brands. People also aim for pharma industries. So they're also big names, right?
No
Such as Dr.
others.
Reddy Laboratories, you have Sun Pharma, and whatnot.
Yes.
So yeah, it depends on which industry you want to choose,
Mhm.
which role you want to choose. So these are the two main factors which will guide you where you want to go.
Yeah. So apart from process engineers, is there any specific role that you will be hired to in any of the sectors as a chemical engineer?
Yes, certainly. So what I look at it as, when you're fresh out of college, being a chemical
Mhm.
engineer, you can be deployed in any domain, right?
Okay.
So take example of my case. I am doing instrumentation engineering as of now. So
Mhm.
why it is helping me is I have the process knowledge already from my
Correct.
background. Now I'm learning instrumentation. Now the blend of both of
Both.
these will be a
Mm.
good fit for mine, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So not, it is not essential or it is not necessary that you will be a process engineer, but most of the
Mhm.
times chemical engineers are being given jobs related to process engineering. There are certain
Okay.
other fields as well, like being in research and development centers,
Mhm.
being in research and development centers where you actually involve yourself in research, developing a new material or finding new technologies. So there also people get employed.
Cool. That's nice. And see, you already mentioned two things. One is which role and which brand. And the third option that everyone chooses is compensation. What is the range of compensation that goes across these firms? Like, what is the min, average, and max that one will get?
All right. So talking about compensation, right? This actually varies from college to college, to be very
Yeah.
honest.
Cool.
If you are in an IIT, same company might offer you a different package. If you are in an NIT, different package. If you are in other universities, different package. It is
Yes.
not with every company, but some
Yeah.
companies do.
Yes. True that.
Whereas I see, if you talk about minimum package, or at least bare minimum should get that. I look at around 5 LPA, 6 LPA, 7 LPS.
Mhm. Mhm.
Go to average of this industries moves around 13, 14 LPA.
Okay.
Maximum, you have companies which I know pay more than 30 LPA. So you
Okay.
have vast range of opportunities. It depends on your caliber,
Mhm.
what you get and what you
Mhm.
choose. Right.
Okay. And so moving into the second part, like when we take hires or government jobs, does people belonging to chemical engineer write chemical engineering gate or do they switch as well, like other streams?
No. So for
Mhm.
the chemical engineering people, we have GATE in chemical engineering. So
Mhm.
yes, they write GATE in chemical engineering, and PSUs like IOCL, ONGC hire people from there.
Yeah, that's nice. So according to you, how does the future market outlook of chemical engineers look like? You have partially answered it, but then if you have to say, what are the booming sectors that one should aim to get in into the field of chemical engineering?
All right. So future is very bright for a chemical engineer because, as I told you, everything around you revolves around chemical engineering.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain booming sectors. First one is energy industries. Right?
Mhm.
The switch from uh, switch to solar,
Yeah.
wind, these kind of energies are evolving a lot. Now there you require
Sustainability. Yeah.
chemicals, right? And as well as you have oil and gas sector also growing. It's not stagnant. It's still growing.
Yeah.
You have food industries, which is evergreen, food and beverage industries. You have pharma industries, ever growing and increasing, and will be increasing in near future, right?
Correct.
With increasing diseases, and
Yeah.
you have just seen COVID,
Yes.
so you will require chemical engineers.
Yeah. That's nice. So, uh, do you wish to continue working post undergrad, or do you wish to gain more knowledge in, in your core field by doing an MS or an MBA? How do you choose that? Like, what is the ample amount of experience that you want to make this decision?
All right. So, talking about, you've mentioned two things here, MS
Hmm.
or MBA. So, most
Hmm.
of the people after graduate, even if they join job, they have this
Hmm.
dilemma in their mind,
Hmm.
whether I want to
Correct.
pursue job, continue it, or I want to go for hires. Now, in hires,
Correct.
also you have two options, MS or MBA.
Correct.
Now, what I feel is when you start working, right, when you really see what is happening in the industry, you kind of know yourself that what I'm suited for, whether
Yeah.
I'm a technical person, whether I
Hmm.
really like inventing new technologies, working on new
Correct.
technologies, learning different technologies, revolving around those things, right? Or this is, if you are really liking these things, some people switch to hires, do
Hmm.
MS,
Hmm.
maybe in India or abroad, as I already
Yeah.
mentioned,
Yes.
and then move to certain other industries or continue in the same industry, right?
Correct.
So they develop their acumen. There are certain set of people when you join the corporate world, it was not what you would have thought. It's a change
Yeah.
for you. Now, it depends if you accept the change or move on, or you understand that it might not be the right thing for me, right?
Mhm.
I'm good for management, yeah,
Yeah.
right? And now when I say I'm good for management, I need not to switch the domain. I
Correct.
can still continue, I can still pursue an MBA, being and continue in a chemical engineering sector, right?
Yes.
You have managers there, you have planning teams there,
Yeah.
which requires you to have chemical engineering acumen, which requires an individual to understand how the plant functions, right? So for taking those strategic decisions, you require them being a chemical engineer or have those backgrounds. So it is
Correct.
not necessary that if I spend 3 years, 5 years, 7 years in an industry, let's say oil and gas industry. So if I have spent these many years in oil and gas industry, and now I want to do pursue MBA, so I'll be doing completely something different. No, it's not like
Mhm.
that. You
Yeah.
can still pursue, you can still be the manager of your organization, you can be the
Correct.
plant head, right? So you need to think on those areas.
Yeah.
If you want to detach yourself from chemical engineering, you want to pursue chemical engineering, you want to be in a technical career path, you want to be in a managerial
Mhm.
career path. So
Yeah.
it revolves around
Yeah.
those areas.
These stuff. Yeah. That's nice. So, so Rahul, according to you, what is the last guidance or advice that you want to give for all the aspiring chemical engineers out there?
All right. So what I think is, first of all, first and foremost, and most important thing is in your college, learn as much as you can,
Mhm.
explore as much as you can. When I say explore, when I say learn, not only chemical engineering.
Mhm.
In college, you have to explore a lot of different aspects. Join as many teams as possible, join as many
Mhm.
clubs as possible, explore what is happening around the world, develop yourself personally as well, develop your communication skills, develop your leadership skills, learn how to communicate with people. So make yourself an all-rounder in college,
Mhm.
right? While simultaneously working on your core branch.
Yeah.
If you are really interested in chemical engineering, you need to develop your base in college itself, because once you start working, you will build on those concepts.
Correct.
It's very difficult to start from the scratch. Make sure your concepts are strong in the college itself, so that you have a good career path when you switch to corporate. Yeah,
That's
this would
nice.
be my
Yeah.
last guidance.
No, no. Yeah, that's really good to have a discussion, open discussion with you. Thanks a lot, Rahul. It was
Yeah,
great and having you here. It's pleasure to have you here. Yeah, thanks a lot.
thanks, Mind, and thanks, Dignity of Labor team.
Yep.